Welcome everybody to the evolution of action anime. My name is Misty /Chronexia, and today I was hoping we could take some time to look back at all the progress anime has made regarding action shows. This video is not to list the best in the category, and if I do leave out one you consider that should be here, I'm sorry daddy. I'm using clips from anime, one or two per year, to show what the genre looked like back then, until now. If we're being honest, the action category has been around pretty much since anime was a thing. Personally, I like to consider City Hunter as one of the pioneers in the genre. The story is basically like everything was in the late 80s, a James Bond-like character, vigilante that helps out on the street. Was and still is outstanding to this day. After that came one of Miyazaki's most acclaimed title, Porco Rosso, in 1992. What's also cool is that at the same time there was an anime adaptation for the video game Fatal Fury. The faithfulness of the game revolves mostly around the characters though. In 1993, Kamen Rider made a small apparition. It was a parody of Power Ranger and Ultraman, mostly targeted towards kids. Iriazeram, the animation, came up next in 1994. The story was another generic space bounty hunter action adventure. You know the ones, with aliens and whatnot. Then in 95, Our Method 3 came out. The story is set in the future where a detective is transferred to Mars where he discovers a conspiracy. At the end of 96, the OVA Angel Densetsu came out. The story was about a kind boy often mistaken for a thug because of his face. Kinda like Ryuji in Toradora. And then 97 happened. Berserk. It hit the stage, and that was a sucker punch to the fucking face. This show still gets talked about nowadays, and it's considered as one of the best of all time. At the same time, Miyazaki released another film called Princess Mononoke. Yeah, 97 was a pretty solid year. But worry not, 98 followed with Trigun, which is yet another classic. Vash the Stampede became one iconic character. No! Just like Cowboy Bebop came out the same year. And there you have it, One Piece in 1999. Man, that show was ugly back then. We'll get back to it, don't worry. In the year 2000, the franchise Vandred was launched, which got a sequel the following year. Back in 1999 was also Crest of the Star, but I left it out to talk about the sequel that happened in 2000 and 2001 that I love a crap ton, Banners of the Stars. That show was amazing, and had a great Star Trek vibe too. Jump ahead to 2002 with Full Metal Panic, who involved a melting pot of military, comedy, mecha, and sci-fi. 2003 Kino no Tabi, arguably one of the most slow-paced action anime about Kino who traveled the world on that talking motorcycle. 2004 had Helfen Lied. It wasn't my horror evolution list, but if we're honest, it's just as much action too. 2005 was my year. Basilisk happened, which had an incredible action scene. And Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle. After loving Cardcaptor Sakura so much, it was amazing to see the character come back in this story. 2006 was the anime Black Lagoon. Straight up action, explosion, thrill, the whole package. That one was great. Back to the movie, at the end of 2006 was Tekken Kinkrat. The art style was peculiar, but the movie was quite original for its time. 2007, one of my all-time favorite, Gurren Lagann. If you're not a fan of mechas, that's one I recommend regardless. It's just so good. 2008 followed up with Code Geass, again mixing mechas throughout an amazing plot. Then in 2009, Phantom Requiem for the Phantom, incredibly underrated, and still to this day one I consider to be the best action shows out there. Movie-wise, there was Redline, who's basically like having an orgasm for an hour and 40 minutes non-stop, so that movie is good. In 2010, there was a switch with Katanagatari, such a flabbergasting show. Everyone should watch it. If you have any interest in the Japanese culture, or just if you like a good story. Norarian no Mago is another endearing show. Came out in 2011, mixed action and comedy together quite well. 2012 had Sword Art Online. Look, hate it, love it, it still happened, and the action scene had me on the edge of my seat. All three of them. 2013 obviously had Attack on Titan. Everyone and their mother have seen it at this point. It's great. You don't really need my insight about it. 2014 brought Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, which is one of the most beautiful anime ever rendered on screen.
Huh?
And finally, in 2015, we have Gintama, who's just a perfect balance of comedy and action. The anime started back in 2006, and 10 years later, it's still roaring about. That should tell you how well the show's been doing. And that brings me back to One Piece. Remember how it looked like in 1999? Well, this is what it looks nowadays, with the most recent episodes. Sure, you can say you still don't like the art style, but you can't deny the improvement that happened over 15 years. Anyway, that's all the time I had for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this episode, please click the like button. You're not gonna do it, huh? Okay, well, thanks anyway. At least you stayed until the end. Like I said at the beginning, there's definitely several shows I've left out, either purposefully or unintentionally. But that's why there's a comment section, so you can critic the fact that I left out Fate Zero, Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, Fairy Tail, and all your favorite shonen. But hey, if you're laid back and you want to see another video like this one, you can always check out my evolution of horror, scary anime, because apparently I say horror a lot. It's the same setup, but about horror. I can't do it, guys, I'm sorry. Scary shows. It's always great to find some new titles that could have slipped through the cracks. Probably through the cracks of that horror. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.